This video is to help you prepare for your post-test. We're going to talk about the practice section. Once you're logged into SimNet, on the assignment page, if you go to the bottom of the page, there's a group called Practice Section. Nothing in this group can affect your grade in any way. It only prepares you for your post-test. Go ahead and select the group, and for each of the 14 SimPaths, there is a pair here. There is the complete lesson set for the SimPath as well as a practice exam for the SimPath. Now, why would you utilize these? The lesson, having the complete lesson set is good for those that may be tested out of some of the content, just to go back and review to make sure that they have access to everything they could be tested over. For example, in this computer concepts, let's go ahead and open it. Let's say someone took the pre-test and there are 33 testable skills that could be tested on the post-test. And maybe you tested out of all of them except for 12 of them. Well, you still might want to know what's going to be on the post-test. So you could scroll through here really quick and go, oh, wait, I have no idea what solid state storage is. Maybe I just guessed and got that one correct on the pre-test. Maybe I need to review this before I take the post-test. So you could go through and make sure that you are familiar with that. You can, okay, obviously the computer concepts table of contents is not working, but it appears all the others are. You could go through and look at anything else. Just make sure you could go through the let me tries again, whatever you wanted to do, just to make sure that you have familiarized yourself with all of the testable content. Additionally, you can take a post-test on, a practice test prior to taking the post-test is what I wanted to say. So all the practice exams are 50 questions in 50 minutes from the lesson content. They are in the same format as the post-test questions. The only difference is that when you get it incorrect on a practice exam, it'll give you a hint or tell you exactly how to do it, and on a test it won't. When you take a practice exam, and every time, the more you take them, hopefully the more prepared you will be. Every time you take them, it'll throw out a few questions and add a few new ones in there. We say that you're not really ready to take the post-test until you've successfully completed the practice test, consistently making a 100 without using any of the second attempts. The practice exam can be taken as many times as you want to. When you start the practice exam, as I said, is in the same format as the post-test. The question will appear, or the question or command will appear at the top. You can still change your font size. You can see your time. You can see how many questions there are. You still have your question list. You can see which attempt out of the 2 attempts you have. On the practice exam, not only do you have an attempt, let's say you take it and you miss it. You get a hint, or again, on the application, you'll be told exactly how to do it. So here you'll say, okay, I at least know there's 2 answers, but my 2 answers aren't correct. So when you push OK, it'll advance to the next question. Or if you say, oh, I know what I did, you could immediately select previous and go back and do it again. Now on the actual test, we do say, for time's sake, go through and do all of them that you know and then focus on the ones you don't know. Because a lot of times if people are not prepared well and they're missing a question and hitting previous and answering the question again or attempting to answer it again, sometimes they never get to the end of the test before time runs out and they leave some questions that they may have known unattempted. So we always say go through and do all of them you know first and then work on the ones you don't know. The other great thing about the practice exam is if you need to stop it, you are able to save your progress and you can come back and pick up and complete it at another point. Or you can simply, when you're done, it will end on its own. Or if you are like, I'm done, You can end on your own. And when you get to your score page, again, the score doesn't count, but you can see which questions you got correct, which ones you missed. Now, this is called create a custom lesson. When you select custom lesson, and every time you complete a practice exam, you need to do this. Create a custom lesson, name it whatever you want. This can be practice 1 for module 1. You can create it. And what it does is it makes you a custom lesson based on just what you missed. Obviously, if you just were to take the practice test and then start it over again, the things that you didn't know, you're probably still not going to know. So what we want you to do is launch the custom lesson. What it will do is it will pull out just the lessons where the content was that you missed on the practice exam, because obviously there's something in this lesson that you didn't retain or you weren't able to apply. So go back carefully through this lesson and then, let me try again. Go through all the content that you missed on the practice exam. Then when you're done, you can come back, go back to your assignments, scroll back down to your practice section and take the practice exam again. And it shows you down here what it'll keep up with all your attempts so that you can see, and I'll be able to see it, but it doesn't go in your grade book and it doesn't count for anything. But when people are having trouble, this is one thing that I check. Are you, utilizing the practice exams you have? So you would, like I said, want to take the practice exam continually until you feel good about the content, you're making 100s. Then you would go back and you'd be prepared to take your post-test. That's how the practice section works. So utilize the practice section to your advantage.